How's it going, folks? My name is Sinikle, and welcome back to yet another Umineko no Naku Koro ni. We are still continuing on with episode 6, Dawn of the Golden Witch, and if you would like to get caught up, the link to the playlist, as always, is down in the description below, so go ahead and check it out, as well as my link to the Twitter. Go ahead and give that a follow if you would like to get updated on future videos or streams, and whatnot. As well as a link to my Patreon. If you would like to support me or support this channel in the future, please go ahead and give that a check as well. But without further ado, let us just continue on with it looks like Cross. Cross, what do you have to say about all of this?
確かに考えられん話ではない。使用人が一番怪しい。
Right.
物的証拠があるわけではありませんから、縛ってクローゼットに放り込むわけにもいきません。ですから銃を持った皆さんの常に目に届くところに置いてよく見張る必要があります。
兄貴、マスターキーも回収した方がいい。あの密室も使用人たち以外には作れるわけがないんだ。使用人たちしか知らない構造や道具などできっとチェーンロックをどうにかできたに違いない。
皆は長く勤めてくれている者ばかりだ。私には到底彼らが殺人を犯すとは思えんのだが。
金蔵さんの寿命もわずかで遺産問題で大きく揺れているそうですね。それに加え10トンの黄金がどこかに隠されている。それらの分け前にありつけるなら人は罪を犯せるかもしれません。
考えたくはないが、クソ親父のおかしなオカルト儀式って可能性もある。片翼の使用人たちは親父の手先で殺人の実行者かもな。親父はどうなんだ。まだ連絡は取れないのか。
内線電話も通じないのだ。犯人に壊されたのかもしれない。それに親父殿は不機嫌になると電話の受話器を外していることがよくある。ノックをしてもその不機嫌な返事があるだけ。
Right.
連絡は取れんが、あの書斎はシェルターも同然だ。むしろ安全だから閉じこもってくれた方がいいだろう。
Flustered, Cross tried to explain away Kinzo's silence. Battler, the game master, hadn't made Kinzo's death a major theme for this game, so the conversation didn't progress any further at this point. They stopped talking about Kinzo without Rudolph thinking anything was particularly suspicious.
いずれにせよ使用人たちを野放しにはできねえ。それでさっき秀吉兄さんとも相談したんだが、2階に2部屋に分かれて全員で籠城しようということになったんだ。
なぜ2部屋なのかね。1部屋の方が心強いだろうが。
さすがに一部屋に12人もの人間では窒息します。そして最も注意すべき人物だけを隔離したいという思惑もあります。使用人の頭である源氏さん、一番体格のいい幸田さん、若輩とはいえカノンさんも男性です。
この3人を特にマークすべきだと思う。そこでこの3人を隔離し、俺と兄貴で監視する。2丁の銃。俺と兄貴ならとっさの時連携もできる。少しでもおかしな動きを見せたらズドンだ。
分かった、そうしよう。だがルドルフ、彼らが犯人であると決まったわけではない。あまり高圧的にはなるな。
兄貴に高圧的になるなか。そりゃ俺たちも老けるわけだぜ。
今上で秀吉さんに部屋分けをしてもらっています。隔離者たちをいとこ部屋に集め、他はその隣の部屋へ集めます。
そうだ、兄貴。ジェシカちゃんなんだが、兄貴と一緒の部屋がいいと言って聞かない。
ジェシカ。
隔離のいとこ部屋が5人、隣の部屋7人の部屋割りでしたからね。ジェシカさんがいとこ部屋を希望するなら、ちょうど半々になります。狼と羊のパズルで言うなら、今は使用人狼が3匹に、クラウスさん、ルドルフさんの羊が2匹。ジェシカさんを加えた方が確かにバランスがいいとは思います。
For a while, Cross crossed his arms and thought. The cousin room would surely be more dangerous, so he wanted his daughter to go into the next room over. However, in an emergency like this, he wanted to have his daughter where he could see her.
一緒にいさせたらどうだ。俺たちが良い父、良い叔父でいるために必要なリミッターの役かもしれねえぜ。
そうだな。私も今は理性的なふりをしている。しかしいつ妻を失った悲しみを怒りに置き換えないとは限らん。
Even without any physical evidence, the servants are certainly the most suspicious. During the long wait, the two men's weariness and anger and sadness might make them lose their reason and act out in anger. After thinking deeply, Cross decided to accept Jessica's request, in part to prevent such a thing from happening.
それがいいと思います。私も賛成です。
同感だ。子供を失うのは俺とローザだけで十分だ。
ルドルフ。
In this way, all of the survivors except Kinzo split into 2 groups and holed up into 2 rooms on the guest house's 2nd floor. One group was in the cousin room. Cross, Rudolph, Jessica, Genji, Kanon, and Goda. 6 people. One group was in the next room over. Hideyoshi, George, Shannon, Kumasawa, Nanjo, and Erika. 6 people here too. Equally split. Okay. Perhaps as the result of the killer's doing, the external phone line had been cut off, and they would have to wait for the ferry boat coming the next day before they could contact the police. However, the weather report said that the typhoon would make the ocean rough all the next day. When such a thing happens, the ferry boat takes the day off, so it would probably be 2 days before the boat came. In other words, they would need to spend a full 2 nights holed up in here. While Erika and the others held their planning meeting in the lounge, food and blankets had been brought in to prepare for the siege. The sudden tragedy had everyone on edge, but it was already well after 2 in the morning. If they really suspected the servants, then the observers couldn't afford to fall asleep at the same time. Either Cross or Rudolph should probably take a nap right away.
さすがだな。探偵権限がないにもかかわらず、うまく場を支配しているぜ。
冷静を書いた男など、感情むき出しの犬と同じです。適切に扱えば簡単にコントロール可能です。
One of the benefits of the detective's authority was being able to take charge of the situation. Because of this, Erika, who was both a guest and a young girl, had been able to order a large number of adults around at will. However, she didn't have the power this time. so Erika had taken charge by making good use of her natural conversation skills and techniques for controlling men.
探偵権限も魔法と同じだな。できないことはやれないってわけだ。エリカにそれだけの力があったから認められていたというわけか。
魔法とは決して怠惰で無力な人間に与えられるものではないのですね。
そうだ。むしろ人知れぬ努力を隠せるやつこそが魔女と呼べるんだろうぜ。
The absolute nature of the detective's authority can affect even magic. However, that convenient power probably hadn't been given to Erika easily. I probably have to acknowledge it, even if she isn't given a special power by the witch she serves. She's capable of quite a lot on her own.
しかしエリカ、どうして2部屋に分けた？てっきり1部屋に全員を集めるとばかり思っていたぜ。
探偵権限があればそうしました。これは自由捜査権を確保するための一手です。
ああ、そういうことか。なるほど。やるな。
Since Erika was being protected as a guest, it was hard for her to move about freely. In truth, she wanted to take some time and investigate the victims at the crime scenes at her leisure, without being interrupted by anyone. She had already inspected the scenes once, in a huge rush as she ran through the mansion, but that probably hadn't been perfect. However, they wouldn't have let a guest into the crime scenes, so she'd had no other choice back then. She wanted some time to herself, and freedom to investigate more, in part so that she could check the closed rooms and causes of death more closely.
それが2部屋に分かれて籠城するのとどう関係があるのでしょう。
そこは奴が口車でうまいことやるのさ。見てな。
ええ、そのためだけに2部屋に分けたのですから。
I saw that, you bitch. The cousin room was filled with a quiet tension. This room had 6 people. We already went through this. God damn it. Cross, Jessica, and Rudolph. And then the most suspicious ones, the male servants Genji, Kanon, and Goda, who had been forced to hole up in here. Ah, okay, I see. Jessica leaned against Cross's shoulder, wrapped up in a blanket. She was drowsy, but apparently couldn't get to sleep. It was no surprise. In this bizarre situation, it would probably take some time before she could accept her mother's death. Kanon thought that this was the sort of time he should stay by Jessica's side, but that looked like it would be hard to do in front of Rudolph's intimidating glare. Rudolph stayed completely silent, but his inner emotion showed clearly in his eyes. So Genji, Kanon, and Goda didn't have to ask to realize that they were suspected. Sometimes Goda asked to help in an attempt to get on their good side and correct this misunderstanding, but it seemed to be having the opposite effect. The best option available to him was to stay quiet so that he didn't aggravate Rudolph and sit still at the end of the sofa. A lot of reading in this one. In the next room over, there were 6 people too. Erika, Erika, Hideyoshi, George, Shannon, Nanjo, and Kumasawa-san. The format of the room, and the constricted atmosphere were the same as the cousin's room. But even so, it was God damn it. My mind is thinking something else. Relatively calm there. There we go. I'm having trouble today. Probably because I streamed a little bit earlier, so I already talked a bit. Oh well. George sat holding Shannon, who was darkly hanging her head the whole time. Kumasawa and Nanjo sat nervously as they listened to Hideyoshi explain the situation.
敵が何人いるかもわからんのや。しかし、わしらにはこうして銃がある。もちろん撃ったこともあるで。ハワイ射撃センターとちゃうで。わしな、もう時効だから白状するが、進駐軍のピストルをぶっ放して単価を切ったこともあるんやで。当時の闇市は外国人ヤクザが牛耳っとってな。
He probably wanted to make everyone feel secure by convincing them that he could be relied upon. Hideyoshi went into one of his old stories that everyone had heard many times, and which had gotten more extravagant each time they'd heard it. It didn't make them any more confident in Hideyoshi's abilities, but it did seem to calm things down a little by bringing in a sense of normality.
どうしてこんな事件が。明日船が来られればいいのですが。
明日は難しいでしょうな。二晩の長丁場になりそうだ。とにかくこういう時はしっかり睡眠をとりましょう。
この状況ですやすや眠れるほど僕の神経は太くないよ。
ジョージ様。
The pain and anger of losing his mother quietly tormented George. Sleepiness probably wouldn't be coming to him for a while. Erika suddenly clapped her hands as though she had just remembered something, then whispered in Hideyoshi's ear, interrupting the old story, which he had grown quite engrossed with.
すみません。ちょっといとこ部屋へ行ってきます。ちょっとどうしても向こうの使用人の方たちに確認したいことがありまして。
なんや、電話ではあかんのか。部屋番号をダイヤルするだけやで。
ほら、お忘れですか？電話、どうも犯人に壊されてるみたいですし。
なんや、ひょっとして彼らの証言に何か矛盾でも気づいたっちゅうんか。
Up until this point, Erika had spent a lot of time giving the impression that she behaved like a detective. So Hideyoshi immediately assumed that this was something vital to do with the crime.
簡単な確認ですが、ひょっとすると大きなほころびを出すかもしれません。ちょっと行ってきます。誰も部屋から出さないでください。
隣の部屋とはいえ、一人は不用心やで。誰か男を連れてった方がええんとちゃうか。
使用人たちも南條さんも完全には信用できません。秀吉さんはこの部屋の責任者。ジョージさんも秀吉さんをサポートできる優秀な男手です。誰も避けません。大丈夫です。探偵は襲われないって決まってますから。
Erika had already worked hard to look like a sharp, clear-headed person. Hideyoshi relaxed and agreed, thinking that it was just next door and wouldn't be a problem at all.
小1時間ほどで。
Right, famous last words.
あまりうろちょろするのも不用心ですね。朝まで隣にいます。明るくなってから戻ってくる方がいいですよね。
You're destroying the balance, you bitch! Over there is gonna be 7, and in this room 5. It was equally matched, 6 to 6, but now you're destroying the balance. You bitch.
その通りや。
No, no, not good thinking.
気をつけてな。
God damn it.
お隣の部屋に行くだけなのに。この部屋よろしくお願いします。
God damn it.
誰も外へ出さないでください。この部屋を出るあらゆる理由がないよう、あらゆるものを運び込んだのですから。
Food, drinks, blankets, medicine, towels, tissue paper, everything. The women also had their cosmetic pouches. They could last 48 hours without lacking for anything.
わかっとる。
And I gotta sneeze. This sucks. Damn it, more editing for me. That's nice.
この部屋におるんは身を守るためだけやない。ひょっとしたらおるかもしれない犯人を見張る意味もあるのを。
I don't know, Hideyoshi. Erika's kind of sus right now. Among Us. References. Okay.
よくわかっとる。
God damn it.
グッドです。ではどうかよろしくお願いします。
エリカちゃん、どこへ？表には誰も出ない約束だよ。
ああ、エリカちゃんはちょいと特別な用事を思い出してな。
Yeah. Kill? No, just kidding.
隣へ行く。大丈夫、平気や。
Uh-huh. Hideyoshi suspected that Shannon might be one of the culprits, since he also knew that Shannon and George had a special relationship. He apparently thought it would be prudent to mislead George about Erika's actions and motives. Tisk tisk. Hideyoshi slowly opened the door and checked both ways down the corridor, his gun raised.
大丈夫。
Don't get too trigger happy there, boy.
誰もおらんで。
ここまでで結構です。あなたが部屋を出ると同時にシャノンさんが表変してジョージさんを人質に取らないとも限りませんよ。今こうして彼らに背中を向けているのさえ少々不用心です。
そやな。じゃあ用心するんやで。後でわしにも話を聞かせてや。
はい、それでは。
Okay. Erika closed the door, pushing Hideyoshi back inside. Push that big boy. Then she waited for the sound of the lock on the inside, and her smiling eyes opened wide. Her expression had become ruthless and intelligent. In this way, Erika was able to gain several hours during which all the suspects were sealed up, and she alone was free.
ようやく自由捜査権を得ました。その前に後宮バトラ。
フルネームで呼ぶな。
ここで登場人物全員の所在確認をさせてください。復唱要求です。
Okay, I see what she's doing. So it's not 7 to 5, it's still 6 to, well, now 5. Got it.
無論これにも答える義務はねえぜ。
その場合は私が見てない間に部屋を抜け出し、その人物が今後起こるだろう不思議な事件の実行者だと主張しきるだけです。
You can say whatever the fuck you want there, girly girl, but it's still not a confirmation.
不可能犯罪を見せたいなら、まずは所在確認に応じるべきです。
Don't have to tell you shit, bitch.
いいだろう。
Damn. Come on, Butler. Come on.
一応は聞いてやるぜ。言ってみろ。
Yes.
いとこ部屋に対し、隣の籠城部屋をこれより隣部屋と呼称します。
Okay.
よろしいですね。
わかりやすいな。了解した。それで
今からする所在確認は生死を問いません。体の所在と考えてください。そしてもちろん現時点でのことです。では参ります。第1の番の犠牲者6人の所在は発見場所の通りである。夏日は自室、エヴァは貴賓室、キリエはクラウスの書斎、ローザとマリアは客間で、あんたは客室。まさかこの時点でもうこの程度のことも復唱拒否ですか？
いいぜ。
Oh?
それを認める。
Okay, alright. First off, it was acknowledged that the victims' locations were the same as the rooms that had been shown by the witch's side's illusions.
Good.
Yeah, good.
続けます。
Alright.
隣部屋に所在するのは秀吉、ジョージ、シャノン、熊沢、南條である。
認める。
Okay. With that, the humans in the room Erika had just left had been specified. Carefully checking even obvious things like that are most basic part of playing on the human side.
グッと続けます。いとこ部屋に所在するのはそれ以外の全員である。
The word everyone drew a slight reaction from Battler. The intuition he'd built up from all of his previous games told him not to answer this one instantly.
拒否する。
Oh.
それを認めるって言うと、金蔵の遺体もいとこ部屋の中にあるって論法になっちまうからな。
Ah, yes.
ああ、失礼。金蔵はすでに存在しないことが確定していますから、全員という言葉からは抜いて考えてください。
なぜいとこ部屋だけ全員という言い方をする？
Yes. Why?
クラウス以下6人の名前を個別に挙げて所在確認をすればいいのに、なぜそんなアバウトな言い方で
6人の名前をいちいち読み上げるのが面倒くさいからです。
That's a fucking fat lie.
それとも何か？
Oh, you little sneaky bitch.
全員という言葉だと何か問題のあるトリックでもあるんですか？
Oh, come on now. If Battler had been told to repeat Cross, Rudolph, Jessica, Genji, Goda, and Kanon are in the cousin's room, he would probably have acknowledged it with the red without thinking too much about it. Of course, normally Erika would have mentioned the names of everyone inside, and had him repeat it precisely. Battler had paused, feeling some kind of unease because of that unexpected demand, and the word everyone.
私と金蔵を除き17人いる島で、6人が殺されて屋敷に横たわり、隣部屋に5人がいる。となれば残る6人はいとこ部屋にいる。これが正常な考えでしょう？しかし17人いる島だから6を引いて5を引いてさらに6を引けばちょうど0になって所在不明の人間は0になるという思い込みは大変危険です。バトラさんもこの辺の名前と人数のトリックで第3のゲームの南條殺しで散々苦しめられたはずです。
そうだな。あの時のトリックは18人分の名前と実際に存在する18人が食い違うことで、未知の人物が混入する余地を許していた。
そういうことです。ですから名前だけでの所在確認は安心できないわけです。 そこで私は全員という言葉を採用することにしました。
I feel like that's not the only reason.
この言葉はまだ私が想像もしていないバトラさんの新しいトリックを未然に防ぐことさえできるのです。
なるほどな。うまいやり方だぜ。
If Bachelor was planning a new trick where the names and numbers of people would be used to create false alibis, like the number of Nanjo in the third game. Even naming off all 17 people and checking their positions left a trace of uncertainty behind. And if he cleverly managed to slip somebody past the names and numbers of people.
例えばですが、この島に未知の暗殺者 X が紛れ込んでいるとします。仮にその X の名をプルプルピコマルと名付けましょう。
Alright.
なるほどな。全員の名を挙げて所在確認をしても、プルプルピコマルとやらはその網にかからないってわけだ。
そういうことです。この島には17人しかいない。そして17人の所在はここであるとされても、それだけでは不十分なわけです。前科もあるわけですからね。
しかし全員というのはあまりに範囲の広すぎる言い方です。他の言い方でうまく言い直せないでしょうか。
いや、ここで全員という言葉から逃げると、エリカはそれを根拠に全ての犯人をプルプルピコマルトやらの仕業で逃れきっちまう可能性がある。かつての俺もお前との戦いで未知の18人目 X だけを根拠に複数の謎にくさびを打ったことがある。
全員という言葉の重み、よーく考えてお返事くださいね。
I hate that smug face of hers. Fuck! Erika wore a full but evil smile, confident that she had made a powerful move. Players on the witch side must eradicate all possibilities that would be possible for humans. If I don't crush any chances for this ridiculously named Pickle Man right now, he'll be used to explain everything the witch does. That was a move I liked to use in my old games with Bito. Back at the very beginning of the fight, my counterattacks were all based on the unknown 19th person X. Because of that, Bito had restricted the number of people on the island, making it necessary to eliminate any unknown person hiding somewhere. In that case, this time is the same. So just like Bito did, I need to get rid of any leeway in which that X can exist. The number of people on this island has already been announced, but since she's suspecting tricks involving names and numbers of people, saying the same thing again won't satisfy her. In that case, I have no choice but to respond to her demand, and use the word everyone. That word has a disturbing ring to it, and though I haven't figured it out yet, it feels like there's some kind of demonic killer move hidden within it. Probably because there is. Damn. After insulting Bito so much and saying that the witch side had a huge advantage, I'm getting this pressured, just having to deal with a single line to repeat.
ディストラクションですね。
チェス用語のか。
はい。敵の駒に圧力をかけ、移動を強いて、敵陣形を自らに崩させる手法のことです。
全員というあまりに広域で強力な駒に私は移動を強いているわけです。
Everyone.
バトラさんにとってはこれによって生存者全員のアリバイが完全に保証され、 以後の不可能犯罪を私に言い逃れさせないことが可能となるでしょう。何を恐れます？あなたにとって強力な一手じゃありませんか。
しかしそれはお前が敷いた上での手だ。お前はそれによって俺の何かの陣形を崩そうとしている。
どんな妙手も相手に望まれたならそれは握手に同じです。しかしここで全員という言葉を避けることも難しい。
The red truth can cut the weak reasoning on the human side apart, over and over. In the past, I feared its ruthlessness. However, I also learned quickly that it could be used as a basis for a counterattack.
赤き真実は殿下の宝刀か。ベアとの気持ち、今は痛いくらいにわかる。
It can kill with ease, but it's not something to be used oh my god, why? Unnecessarily. God damn it. Using it carelessly will end up cornering the witch side instead.
どうします？保留でも結構ですよ。
Well, no.
いや。
Yeah.
わかった。認める。
saying red.
それ以外の全員がいとこ部屋にいることを認める。
Oof, alright.
ぐっとありがとうございます、バトラさん。実に美しくバッサリです。はあ、困りました。
Shut up.
この状況で魔女からの手紙が現れたりなんかしたら、一体誰を疑えばいいのやら。
Yes, just who? She said she was in trouble, but her face didn't look troubled at all. Oh my god. On the contrary, she looked as though she had just succeeded in placing a huge opening move. In a witch's game, even a single mistake can be fatal. In both chess and shogi, you can't get a piece back once you've moved it. That last exchange had left a bad aftertaste, as though flesh had been torn and bones broken.
所在確認はこれで十分のはずだ。ゲームを進めてもらおうか。
そうします。ドラノール。
はい、エリカ卿。
それでは早速始めましょう。慈悲深いゲームマスター様がくださった権利を。
はい、心得ております。ガートルード、コーネリア。
God damn it, why?
3部屋許された権利のうちの2部屋分を行使します。
金形、慎んで。了解するものなりや。
いとこ部屋と隣部屋を封印。これで犠牲者以外の全員を封じました。これ以降何が起こっても封印の中の人間たちは問題となりません。
扉、窓の封印によりいとこ部屋、隣部屋の両部屋の密封は保証されました。
For just an instant, a red longsword had returned to Delaner's hand. She had been given permission to draw it, thanks to the red truth that she'd finally gained. When the fight concerned these two sealed rooms from now on, Delaner would be able to use that merciless blade, the red key. This overwhelming power could slice even the Game Master in half. For a while, Erika and Delaner just grinned at each other, entranced by the ruthless red light that was burned into their eyes.
上席補佐官謹んでお尋ね立てまつる。
何か？
人間側プレイヤーは魔女の出題を人間の仕業で読み解くのが戦い方と知るものなりや。
あなたに相違なし。
なればなぜにエリカ卿と上司ドラノールは犯行の余地ある人間を自ら減らすように戦うなりや。
Cornelia's question was a very simple one. Those two had made this move boldly, making it sound like it was a powerful one, almost as though it would greatly damage the witch. However, if you thought about it, Erika was just strangling her own neck.
これよりどのような事件が起こるかもまだわからぬと知りたまう。むしろ所在を確定させない人間が多い方が人間に有利ではないかと推測するものなりや。
今はまだ、今日も上司主席もそれを明かす段階にないと知りたてまつる。
I think I know what they're getting at. By doing this, it's not locking them in a specific room per se, because she couldn't use her detective authority on the corpses in the other rooms, right? With Kyrie, Ava, Rosa, and Maria, and such. So, without having that detective authority to confirm those corpses, they're still left in the air to say that they could have used some sort of method to stop their heart, or in this case a pulse, temporarily. So they could be alive, quote unquote, or dead, quote unquote. So that's what she's trying to do, I think. Or what she will do. I don't know yet. That's just my thought process. Anywho.
死後陳謝するものなり。
Cornelia looked like she wasn't satisfied. In the previous game, when trying to help Kinzo escape from his study, Bachelor had desperately tried to break free from that closed room, using various methods. As a result, Kinzo had escaped into the darkness of the night, and it had later been possible to treat him like an elusive phantom. In other words, closed rooms were advantageous to witches and disadvantageous to humans. Witches proposed closed rooms, and humans destroyed and denied them. That should have been the standard tactic for this game. And yet, Erika had created closed rooms herself, sealing a full 11 humans in them. In other words, this was the same as abandoning the right to use those 11 people when explaining all of the later tricks. Ah, gotcha. In the past, the Bachelor had confirmed the location of certain people, but that had been to check whether certain pieces existed, with which he could break closed rooms, a completely different situation. Why had Erika taken these 11 people, who were also her pieces, and sealed them in a closed room? Cornelia hadn't experienced enough fights to understand this move, which looked as though they were trapping themselves. Gotta think outside the box.
不気味な一手ですね。
Outside.
一体エリカは何を企んでいるのでしょう。
There's a few possibilities.
攻撃とは限らねえさ。チェスも将棋もそうだろ。キングの守りを固めておくのだって立派な戦略だ。
つまりこの2部屋の封印は攻めでなく守りだと。
そう考えるのが妥当だろうぜ。おかげで生存者たちにちょっかいが出しづらくなった。第2の番が実行しにくくなったってわけだ。
ああ、なるほど。魔女側は謎を多く提示した方が有利。
そうだ。何しろ 一つでも謎が通れば魔女の勝ちなんだからな。多くの密室を提示した方が有利に戦える。
The riddles that the witch side sets up are equivalent to attacks. The human side must perfectly intercept all of those. I gotta make sure I'm recording. Yes, I am. Great. It's almost like a penalty shootout, where letting a single point slip by means defeat, not default. God damn it. This whole episode is fucked because I have no idea why my brain is scrambling letters and words. I apologize. So the witch side wants to increase its number of attacks. The human side wants to lower the number of attacks. When Battler had fought on the human side, he hadn't thought of the survivors holding up in a room as being particularly useful. However, from the witch side's perspective, the strategy was simple but effective. What made Bito incredible was how she'd bluffed and sneered at this tactic, as though it was completely useless. On the inside, she must have been so worried over how to break down all of these barricades in each game. Right now, I'm sure of that.
なるほど。事件が発生できないように守りを固めるのも人間側の戦い方なんですね。
しかし、それは平凡な一手だ。あの名探偵フルド・エリカがあれだけ自信満々に強打するほどの一手じゃない。
Would Erika be happily? God damn it. Oh my god, I am all over the place today. I'm now adding letters where they don't exist. Oh my god, I apologize. Would Erika be happy after playing a defensive move? Maybe I'm coming down with a fever. Though this move looks as though she's restraining herself, it's also extremely unlikely that Erika was playing defensively.
これはきっと守りじゃなく攻めなんだ。どういう攻撃か理解はできねえがな。
次は私たちの手番ですが、どうしますか？
とりあえず表向きは、奴は第一の番の推理ではなく、第二の番を防ぐための守りに手番を費やした。押さば引け、引かば押せだ。ならこっちは攻めていくしかない。
しかしどう攻めればいいやら。ゲストハウスはかなりの守りになっています。
そうだな。ゲストハウスの全域が今やエリカの支配下に見える。しかしビショップやナイトのように敵陣に食い込むのを得意とする駒だっていろいろある。
Oh? Battler snapped his fingers, and a single gold butterfly appeared from the darkness, then flew in front of the chessboard, trailing gold sparks behind it. It landed without a sound, then transformed into a black piece representing the witch's darkness.
X-ray.
What?
これもチェス用語だったな。
Oh!
はい。一見敵の支配下に見えるマスが、実際は自分の駒が十分に影響力を効かせていることを見透かして攻撃する高等技法です。
エリカ、生存者を全て密閉し、次なる俺の攻撃を防げると本気で信じているなら、それは甘い考えだ。
Battler raised his new black piece high. His target was a single open space deep behind enemy lines.
どう受ける？これが俺の応酬だ。
Oh my god! shook me. He shook me. Shook me like a British nanny. What? Okay. That was weird. Oh.
これでようやく羽が伸ばせます。
Shut up.
まずは屋敷に深夜の散歩と参りましょうか。
Let's not.
殺人犯が潜んでいるかもしれない不気味な屋敷にこのような深夜に散歩とは酔狂な御人です。
とんでもない。ようやく得た自由時間じゃないですか。今の私はプール授業の後の自由時間みたいにワクワクしています。
Now that Burn Crystal was nowhere in sight, Erika was regaining her high spirits. She wasn't exaggerating when she said she was spreading her wings. Delana knew that she was risking her own destruction in this game, and she was not in a favorable position by any means. Delana could do nothing but assist Erika, so that she could fight to the best of her abilities.
よし。ゲストハウス1階の戸締まりも完璧ですね。玄関もちゃんとチェーンロックで封じられています。
Before leaving the guest house, Erika did a check of the first floor, making sure that nothing was out of place. Then, she found a flashlight and umbrella in the servant's room next to the entrance.
では参りましょう。
まずは6人の死因くらいは確定しなくちゃ。
Okay. She unset the chain, unlocked the door, and opened it. The freezing outside air poured in.
風はだいぶあるようです。
まあ、この体など私にとって肉の売り。濡れようが冷えようがどうでもいいことです。行きましょう。
When Erika dropped her gaze to open her umbrella, she noticed something lying at her feet. Let me fucking guess. A letter. Yeah. God damn it. Oh shit.
これはいつもの手紙です。
Well, well, well. This is the first time she's getting one personally. It was one of those letters sent by the witch, with the seal of the one-winged eagle on it. It had been wedged under the outside mat in front of the entrance, as though someone had predicted that Erika would eventually leave for the mansion by this way. It was in the shadows of the large eaves, so it had avoided the rain entirely.
早速来ましたね。
Nice.
まるで待ち受けていたかのように。
She bent over and picked it up. She then tore it open recklessly and pulled the letter inside out of it. A message had been written in neat letters.
ようこそフルドエリカ様ですって。
Sama, great.
やれやれ、私を名指しでですか。完全に読まれてますね。
内容は何です？
犯行予告です。いや、事後報告と言うべきですね。後宮バトラの死体をお預かりしたそうです。
Okay.
どうぞ探してみてくださいとか言ってます。
Interesting.
第二の晩の寄り添いし2人を引き裂けではないのですか？
まあ、死体が消失する云々はベアとのゲームでも何度かありました。
True.
それほど親身のある話ではありません。
Erika shrugged and scorned the letter. Ah, but the letter did say to try and find it, didn't it? Anywho. However, this letter was a real attack. All of the survivors were sealed in rooms on the second floor. And at the very end, after she had gone around with Cross and the others to check the locks on doors and windows, Erika had personally confirmed that there was nothing at this spot. So this was an attack saying someone who shouldn't be here placed the letter, and that this someone was a witch. That was also an attack that the old Beetle had often used.
はあ、やれやれ。見せ方も同じなら、トリックまで同じだって言うんじゃないでしょうね。ドラノール、バトラを呼び出してください。
了解です。バトラ卿、東方の手番を所望です。
了解だ。受けて立つ。
申し訳あり、実は指し手の宣言ではありません。
Oh.
実は謝罪です。一つ謝らなければならないことがありまして。
Apologize. Bachelor and Beeto's eyes went wide. However, though Erika said that she wanted to apologize, she had a confident look on her face, as though even that apology would be a new move. Okay. So, Bachelor glared at her dubiously, without letting his guard down.
例の遡っての封印についてですが、
Yeah?
実はすでに一箇所封印しておりました。それのご報告が遅くなりましたことをお詫びしたいと思います。
What, the front door?
すでに封印していた？
Huh?
つまり、お前はもうこれで3部屋分を使い切っていたということか。
It seems so.
はい。直ちに報告するお約束だったのですが、うっかり失念してここまでゲームを進めてしまいました。
Yeah, forgot my ass.
心よりお詫びいたします。
心より詫びてる顔には全く見えねえぜ。まあいいさ。俺が許した権利だ。それで、いつどこを封印していたって？
I'm guessing either the front door to the guest house or the front door to the mansion. One of those two doors.
ドラノール。
ご報告申し上げます。エリカ卿による死体検視時にバトラの客室を封印しておりましたことをご報告申し上げます。
Okay. I see what she's getting at now. Alright. Beetle tried not to let it show on her face, but her eyebrows twitched visibly and her gaze flicked over to Bachelor.
本来なら5つの密室すべてに封印を施したかったところなのですが、回数が足りませんでしたので、ゲームマスターのあなたに敬意を表してバトラさんの死体の部屋だけを封印させてもらいました。
Huh, okay.
ご丁寧に俺の棺桶の蓋を閉じてくれたわけか。
Yeah.
つい先ほど思い出しましたもので。
So, was it tampered with? Oh, well, actually, of course it was, because, well, the letter confirmed it. That the corpse was taken or moved or whatever. But, was that Bachelor himself, or was that another person who moved the body? Tricky trick.
屋敷に到着し、あなたの死体の客室を調べるときにご報告すればいいかと思っていました。しかし、この手紙の登場で急ぎご報告した方がいいと思いまして。
How very kind of you.
どうしてそう思うのですか？
いいえ、何しろバトラさんは自分の死体の客室が封印されてることを知らずにゲームを進めてたわけですから、それによってひょっとしたらこの登場した手紙、話が変わってくる可能性もあるかなと そう思いまして。
いとこ部屋と隣部屋を封印中です。事後報告で申し訳ないですが、さらにあなたの死体の客室も封印中です。そして島にはエリカ卿を抜いて17人。18人目の存在は過去のゲームですでに否定済みです。
となると、手紙を置ける人物とあなたの死体消失。
Okay, so she's going for the gusto right here. Alright, got it. Well, this is a quick end. No, it's not going to end right here. I think there's still going to be a few hours left of stuff, but still, like, damn. Alright.
ひょっとして話も変わってくるかなと思いまして。
Erika laughed crudely. Oh my god, how evil! While staring into Bachelor's eyes to see if he was panicked or disturbed. Panic! Hmm.
落ち着け。エリカの報告が遅くなっただけの話だ。何も焦ることなどない。
Erika had suspected it since the beginning. It was possible that Bachelor actually had been killed and was still alive. And if he was alive, then the letter that had suddenly appeared was easy to explain, even though all of the survivors were sealed up. Judging by Bito's faint agitation, maybe Erika's guess had been right on the mark. Bachelor played dead and somehow got around Erika's examination. And then, while everyone was barricading themselves in the guest house, he snuck out of the guest room. After that, he placed a letter detailing the disappearance of his own corpse in the entrance of the lobby, and hid himself. If that was the truth, then the seals that had been placed on Bachelor's guest room at the time of Erika's examination were now very significant. In other words, if this was the trick they'd used, then Bachelor would certainly have broken the seals when he left his guest room. The trick would not be workable without breaking the seals. Since the survivors were all sealed up inside the guest house, then if the seals in the guest room were broken, it meant acknowledging that at least one of the victims was actually alive. True. If Bachelor had known about the seals earlier, it was likely that he would have advanced the game in a different way to avoid this. In other words, it was very likely that an announcement about the seals would have had a large effect on the rest of Bachelor's game. Erika was saying if Bachelor avoided breaking the seals because he was pretending to be a corpse and instead remained inside the guest room, perhaps this letter would not have appeared in the story. If Bachelor was actually alive and had placed a letter there, then now that Erika's seal had become into play, there was a chance that his trick would cause a contradiction somewhere down the line. That sort of contradiction is called a logic error. Ooh, damn, that was a mouthful.
ロジックエラー？今回の物語の随分最初の方で聞いた気がするわ。魔女側が犯してはならぬ最大最悪のミス、反則手だ。あ、思い出したわ。物語の表裏が合わぬこと、矛盾することとか言ってたわね。伏せたカップの中に飴玉が現れる魔法の話を覚えているか。ええ、マリアお姉ちゃんとエリカがそれをめぐって論争したわね。あれはお姉ちゃんが目を閉じている間にカップの中にこっそり飴玉を入れるだけの単純な手品だった。そうだ。その手品の過程を観測していないマリアに結果のみが与えられ、魔法でカップの中に飴玉が現れたとする魔法幻想を受け入れたから魔法が成立した。そうか。
ロジックエラーとは不可能になってしまった手品という意味ね。
If you think about it, Erika and Maria's fierce red and blue truth battle over this magic was the real opening of this tale's fight. Let's try to remember that exchange. The heartless truth was that it had all been a trick. Making the candy appear in the cup by magic had been nothing more than Bito's claim. Magic can only do things that one can accomplish. In other words, you can only have a magical result if it's something that could have been done without magic. Let's be clear, there are two general types of magic. If you summon giants and make towers grow from the ground. But when the lid is taken off, nothing has happened in the rose garden. That's one type of magic. That's just an illusion. It's a lie with no observers that take place where the witch says it did, in a location without any of the anti-magic toxin. Magic that doesn't have a match result is the most simple kind, a lie. This is the same as a worthless delusion, an illusion, a daydream. Even Battler saw through it part way through the third game. Then, there is another kind, which we might call true magic, magic that matches a result. The cup trick is an example of magic that matches a result, since an observer actually checks to see that the cup's contents were empty before seeing a candy appear there, and thus an actual observer of the incident is created. I've discovered one big rule that magic matching a result has to follow, unlike the magic of illusions. The rule is that only the unobserved process of what you accomplished can be transformed into magic. I can speak even more generally and ruthlessly. In short, all forms of magic are tricks. Only things that can be accomplished without magic can have a matching result. Ironically, this also proves that magic doesn't actually exist. But out of respect for the witch's game, let's call it making the game solvable and fair for the human player.
つまりカップの中の飴玉
Holy
が
crap.
今回はエリカの前に現れた謎の手紙ということになっている。これは手品でなくてはならない。それを兄ちゃんは魔女が魔法で手紙をそこに置いたと主張することで結果を伴う魔法にしようとしている。
そうだ。生存者は全員ゲストハウスの密室に封じられている以上、突然に現れたこの手紙は魔女以外に置くことは不可能な不思議な魔法に修飾することができる。しかしそれでもつまりは可能な手品でなくてはならないということだ。
In order to see through the trick with the candy in the cup, Erika had countered with the blue truth, saying that the candy had been snuck in there while her eyes were closed. That was the correct answer, so Maria hadn't had any red that she could use. But what if she had used it? For example, what if Maria had used the red truth, then to say, until I lifted the cup up, the closed room of the overturned cup remained intact.
赤き真実は真実にしか使えないんでしょ。嘘をシャーシャーと言えたら重大なルール違反だわ。
そうだ。自分のトリックを否定する赤き真実は大きなルール違反だ。しかしその赤き真実に抵触しない別のトリックに即座に差し替えられるなら、いささかアンフェアではあるが、その赤き真実は認められる。
この場合はカップの中の密室は維持されていたという赤き真実に矛盾しない手品のトリックを魔女側は即座に提出しなければならないということね。 証拠を突きつけられて二転三転させる政治家の言い訳みたいだわ。
そうだ。まあその程度の赤ならばまだ苦しい言い訳でも言い逃れられよう。テーブルに仕掛けがあったとか、二重底の手品用カップだったとか。しかしもしあらかじめその可能性についても赤で否定があったなら、それも通用しない。赤き真実が多ければ多いほど言い逃れの余地もなくなるわけだ。
In actuality, the candy had been put in the cup while Maria's eyes were closed. However, if, when Erika saw through that, Maria had used the red truth to say that the closed room of the cup had been preserved, the witch would have to rush and revise the scenario to a new trick that still worked logically after that new red. God damn it. Today is just not a good day for me. Revising the scenario in an unfair move that would never be allowed in the mystery genre. However, the very act of revising the scenario takes place inside the witch's head, which is an unobservable world. So, if she claimed that she had been using the trick with the fake-bottomed cup from the beginning, no one could deny it. So, even if it really was a trick done while Oni-chan's eyes were closed, as long as the witch leaves herself a way out, she can even switch between truths or tricks. Rather than calling this an action available to witches, we should probably say that it's only usable by the game master. Alright? The one who creates and writes. But even so, the new truth must not contradict any of the previously stated red truths. If the red truth makes it so that the trick no longer makes logical sense, then there will be a mismatch between the two sides of the story. The illusory result, that the game master claims is magic, and the true result that was brought about by a trick. So when we get a contradiction and it no longer makes logical sense, we call it a logic error. And that would mean the destruction of the witch's game.
人間に説明可能なゲームがこの世界。すなわち、すべての魔法はトリックでも可能なようになっていなければならない。トリックで不可能だったら、人間側は打つ手なしのステイルメイト。
いいや違う。それこそがロジックエラーと呼ぶ致命的かつ最悪の反則手だ。これを魔女側が犯した場合、即座にゲームは破壊され、致命的敗北となる。
お兄ちゃんは多分エリカにトリックをカンパされたわ。探偵権限のないエリカは検視ができない。それを理由に死んだふりを続け、こっそり客室を出てゲストハウスの玄関に手紙を置いた。
しかしバトラが許した遡って封印ができるなどとする大甘な配慮により、話が狂い出した。
お兄ちゃんのバカ。
まだ現時点では狼狽するほどではあるまい。客室の封印が健在かどうかはまだ赤き真実で確定していない。
True.
封印を破るも自由。
Oh.
破らぬならバトラ以外が生きてたことにし、手紙を置いた人間を差し替えてもよいだろう。
そうね。実はみんな死んだふりだったってことにしてもまだ全然問題ないわ。
そうだ、全くうろたえる段階にない。要は
エリカの封印と手紙を置くトリックを矛盾させぬよう手を変えればいいだけの話。
矛盾なく他の筋書きに変更するのだってゲームマスターに許された手の一つだわ。
しかし想定したシナリオをその途中で変更することは物語に歪みを与えることもある。まだ第一の番を終えたばかりという段階を思えばあまりに痛恨の一手。どうやら自陣深くに駒を刺されたるはバトラの方だったようだな。この紛れ込んだ一コマはブーツに入り込んだ一粒の小石のように今後一歩一歩歩くたびに違和感と痛みを与え続けることになるだろう。この一粒の小石、バトラを殺すやもしれぬ。 まだロジックエラーと言える段階ではありません。それに遡って封印したのにそれの報告が遅れたこちらにも過失があります。ですからこの手紙の登場についてバトラさんも遡って筋書きを書き直してくださっても結構ということです。
Yeah, but you allowing him to do that will just prove it even further. You just put him into a tricky spot. For
遡って書き直すとは。
なるほどな。俺がこの手紙を置いたとするなら、俺が密室に封じられた時点でそれは不可能になる。となるとこの手紙もここに現れてはいけないことになる。
Right.
そうです。ですからその小さな矛盾の修正をどうかしてもらえたらと思います。
Oh, please one up her. One up her and say that that is not the case. Please.
今私たちはここでこの手紙を発見しました。
Say that he has never left the room and the seal is still there intact, please.
それをなかったことに、あるいは他の内容にシナリオ変更していただいても結構ということです。
ただ手紙とガムテープがあるだけでフルドエリカにはこの程度の一手が可能です。いかがです皆様方。
Shut up. Shut up. Do not. No. How dare you, Erika? How. Oh. Ya bitch. Damn. What a dirty move. You dirty girl. Well, what else should I expect from Erika? I made a promise with Delana too, that we'd both play all out and mercilessly. Yeah, it's true. I've been planning to make Battler actually alive, and then to have him slip out of the guest room, resulting in his disappearance and in the placement of the letter. God damn it. However, if I revise the scenario now that my move's been spotted, it would be the same as admitting that it was spotted. Exactly. So she put you in a tricky fucking position. Even if I have to be stubborn about it, I don't want to admit that I was seen through here. I don't want to acknowledge a pathetic plot change where I try to sneak out of the guest room and break the seals. I want to change over to a different trick so that the letter will be placed and my corpse hidden, while still preserving the seals on the guest room. It doesn't really have to be me who places that letter. I can still revise the logic without contradictions.
しかしバトラさん、手紙は何とか置けても、その後の自分の死体の消失はどうするのですか？客室は密封されています。密室から死体を消すトリックをたった今から用意しなくてはロジックエラーを起こします。
まだ時間はある。ギリギリまで考える。くそ。
With a painful laugh, Bachelor unconsciously scratched at his head.
とにかくこの手紙はそのままでいく。はい、すみません。客室が封印されてると矛盾するので、はい変更しますなんて今さら言えるか。一本取られたと認めるのと同じことだ。まるで天井裏に隠れてる忍者の気分だな。蹴取られて槍でぶっすり刺されたのに、痛みに耐えて槍の先の血をこっそり拭い、さもそこにいなかったふりをしてるみたいだぜ。痩せ我慢でいい。ここは痛みを蹴取られたらまずいんだ。
バトラさ
ん。なあベアト、今の俺どんな顔してんだ？きっとかつて俺との応酬で痛いとこ疲れた時にお前が浮かべてたような、ああいう表情を浮かべているんだろうな。くそ。
Vito couldn't think of anything to say. Useless words of comfort would only get in the way of Bachelor's thinking now.
かつてのお前ならどうする？俺を散々苦しめてきた密室の数々を生み出したかつてのお前なら、どんなトリックで密室から俺の死体を消す？
Vito trembled and groaned. The old her had been an expert at closed-room tricks. If only that memory, that power, could be revived, she would be able to help a Bachelor. There's still time to think. There's still time. Nice going, Erika. That was a dirty move. Damn. You got me by the cojones. Now what's what I do? Alright, well. That's one hell of a cliffhanger. What the fuck's gonna happen now? I guess we'll find out in the next video. Alright, update time. I have finished, well, partially finished, my $5 pledge over on my Patreon, the Shoutout Wall, aka the Wall of Sinners. So far, there are only 2 people pledged in that. Okay. The music is a little not fitting for my outro here. But I like it still. Anywho, as I was saying, there's only 2 in the $5 pledge. If you want to join in on that pledge and join the wall, please go do so and support me and support the channel. The link to my Patreon is down in the description below, so go ahead and check it out, as well as if you want to finish and get caught up with my series of Umineko playlist, link is in the description, as well as my as a link to my Twitter. Go ahead and give that a follow for any updates that I might have concerning future videos, future streams, or future anything. So there you go. And yeah, my thoughts on this video here, on what transpired. Erika's a dirty, dirty girl. That is probably inappropriate if taken out of context. What she did was wrong, but she is an evil bitch, so I can see why she did it. Alright. God damn it. What is Bachelor gonna do? I wonder. But until next time, we'll have to wait and find out. So until then, please leave a like, share the video, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, because there will be more Umineko and more streams in the future. if you have not noticed, I did a test stream regarding with Rise of the Tomb Raider for the 3rd or 4th time on my channel. But this one was actually very successful, and I will be now able to do long streams once a week, unfortunately for now. I might in the future be able to go 2 or 3 a week, but we'll see how that goes in the future. But for now, once a week, probably 4 or 5 hours. Those are going to be good streams. I hope you're all looking forward to them. But yeah. Anyway, I digress, and I gotta end the video here. So, until next time, please, everybody, stay sinful, folks.